I was gonna do a boy voice. I can't.
No, do it.
After show.
Don't do it.
After storming off,
No, I don't like
Andrew heard footsteps.
Why does he sound dumb?
It's the only voice I've got. Hey everybody, this episode is brought to you by Squarespace. If you're not familiar with them, let me tell you how much they can help you. Whether you are starting a new venture or expanding an established business, Squarespace is a perfect tool to help you along the way. They're a comprehensive website platform designed to help entrepreneurs thrive online. If you haven't been able to check it out, do so now. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/wine for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by ZocDoc. You know, there are some things in life that are totally fine to leave up to chance. One thing that shouldn't be left up to chance is finding a good doctor. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search for and compare high quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and instantly book an appointment with just a click. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments. Go to ZocDoc.com/wine. That's ZocDoc.com/wine to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. ZocDoc.com/wine. Thank you, ZocDoc.
Welcome to Wine About It. Here we are. It's just like the good old days.
It's just like the good old days. Welcome to Wine About It. We did the thing again where this is the main episode because we just recorded the first episode and we had to put it on Patreon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we were scared we'd get too many. We were scared we would get too many hate comments.
Yeah. So if you want to see, how we really feel, go check out the Patreon because we just did.
We should actually over there.
It actually wasn't that bad. What?
No, it wasn't that bad.
But Maya's
I don't know.
Paranoid.
I don't know.
Whatever. She's nervous about hate comments. She's nervous about, I talked about my ex. She misses him personally, and she doesn't want.
I personally miss him.
She never met him, but she misses him.
And I'm scared that he's gonna paranormally come and find me.
We talked about paranormal stories, which we're doing today. Hey everyone, we're back in person. You might be like, what the heck?
Yeah, here we are. I'm visiting. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm having a good time. We're hanging out.
Yeah, we're hanging out. She came for some fun.
To the house tonight.
And since she's here for fun, we're going to record a Wine About It episode or two, or a few. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
So far, we have 6 hours of recording slotted in.
Yep.
So
you'll have some fun episodes.
Easy peasy. That'll be fun. We're going to have some guests. It'll be a good time.
But I freaking love Halloween.
Cutie is a Halloween lover. I think the older that I get, the more I like it. But I've never been into it otherwise.
I like when people call it All Hallows Eve.
I've never heard anyone say that.
Happy All Hallows Eve. I got it from Halloween Town. I loved Halloween Town. Oh, it's my favorite. I gotta watch it. We should watch it. Have you ever seen it? No. Oh my god, we're gonna have so much fun.
What's the difference between that and The Nightmare Before Christmas?
So much.
Okay,
what the
sorry
heck?
for asking.
What about Hocus Pocus?
No, I've never seen that. Is that like Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
No, I just watched Hocus Pocus though, so I'm not willing to rewatch that with you. But you and Caleb should have a movie night and make caramel apples.
Is it actually good?
Yeah,
Really?
Hocus Pocus is really good. There's a little pedophile lady.
What?
She goes, "Come, little children, I'll take thee away into the world of enchantment." Kind of slang. Oh my god.
Wait, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I was up there.
I was like, damn.
I was up. I was high. Yeah. No, but they're witches and they have to stay young, so they suck the souls out of the something by midnight, or else they're cursed.
They're pedophiles.
They turn to dust.
They're pedophiles.
Yeah, but like they're not like sexual pedophiles, just soul pedophiles.
I don't think you can call it a pedophile.
I think you're a soul pedophile.
I don't think that's.
Oh, you think eating children is okay?
No, but I wouldn't call it a food pedophile. I would call it a cannibal, and I think it has nothing to do with pedophilia.
If you like them young, I think.
Okay, all right.
You should not go to Cell Block 1.
We are here today to review some paranormal stories because it's spooky season. Happy spooky season. Cutie's got a latte from like 4 hours ago.
This is what I do. Did you see that yesterday?
Yeah.
I nurse them.
Dude, she nurses them. It's kind of crazy.
Taylor used to think it was gross. Taylor, my dear best friend.
Yeah. Okay, crazy.
My dear other best friend. She hates the way I eat. She can't be around me. She said I'm yucky. Because it looks like this. And
care.
you know it's cold by this. It's like spill and lipstick and whatever.
But then you get a hot
And
latte
you know it's
and
cold.
an iced latte the same day.
And then, yeah, and she hated the way I'd eat yogurt because I don't like sauce, but I had to eat it for the probiotics because I was constipated for a while. And we'd work together and she'd be like, I cannot be around you while you have your yogurt. But I'd also nurse my yogurt for like 6 hours because I hated it.
Okay, that's gross.
Yeah.
I don't think you should do that.
Anyway, she hates me, but I guess that's why she quit. Just kidding.
Oh!
I fired her.
Oh!
Just kidding. She didn't want to move. Anyway, I still like her. We talked yesterday, so.
Right. Okay, well, if you want to hear all the paranormal scary things that have happened to me and Cutie Cinderella, they're in the Patreon episode. Do you have
Oh, it's actually so smart to put that on Patreon, I just realized.
Oh, why?
Because I went on that whole rant about being insecure.
Oh,
So
true.
smart.
That's
Oh,
actually
so smart. Good call. It's on the Patreon.
For you guys, everyone else
But we
is
still have a
watching,
special
we're
treat
not
for you guys.
insecure at all.
I'm highly confident.
Yeah.
I wish I was taller.
I wish I was taller as well.
That makes sense. Well, everybody, I want some spooky stories. I hope there's one story we read today that Maya goes, OMG, OMG, that one got me.
My disclaimer is I don't believe in anything. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in anything paranormal. I don't believe in souls. I don't believe in anything. So it's really hard for me to like be scared by something paranormal. Even in watching scary movies, I realized this the other day. I watched Longlegs the other day.
Oh, I heard it's scary.
So my problem with scary movies is as soon as they bring in, I think I like psychological thrillers that have no paranormal element because those actually scare me.
People.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when there's paranormal brought into it, I just roll my eyes and I'm like, okay.
You know what's funny is like the only scary story or scary movies that would really get me, like, because I watched a lot of scary movies as a kid. I don't anymore. In high school though, it was like the thing to go watch a scary movie. But the ones that would always get me were like The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Like that one me up. That one's scary. Have you ever seen it?
It sounds familiar.
I don't like it because it's like, I think like, okay, you know, we just talked about like, I don't know if I believe in ghosts. I don't know if I whatever. If I could believe in anything, it would be like demons.
Like possession?
Yes.
I think that's just mental illness. I think that's just like you need psychiatric help if you're like acting possessed.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Probably.
Maybe, probably. I mean, I think that's the logical explanation, but it's just a little spooky. Scary.
That's interesting to think about.
I think it could be the Mormon in me, but I'm like,
Anytime I've heard someone say like the demons are telling me to do it, I've never even considered that being actual possession. I've only ever thought like they're just ill.
I mean, yeah, most of the time. But the thing about like Emily Rose in that story is like she went insane. Like she was like eating wood and like like bending her bones in ways that they shouldn't bend and like levitating.
Is it a true story? Is that
yeah, apparently.
Well, they should have gotten.
I don't know. The movie was really convincing. It might not be real at all. But I don't want to Google it because I don't want to like see stuff. Because my problem is I have racing. I have monkey brain is what it's called.
Is Emily Rose?
Where you leap from vine to vine. And late at night, if I read stuff, I'll be like, oh.
It's not based on a true story.
Oh. What?
So.
Oh.
Not a true story, but it's a very believably told story.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh.
Embarrassing.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
Okay, well that changes. Okay. Wow.
Guys, we're all safe. Don't worry. Also,
Apparently
if you
she didn't
ever
levitate.
meet with a demon and they offer you a handshake, shake their hand because that's polite.
Hey, that was only for Patreon people.
Sorry. Be polite.
Anyway.
Should we read one?
That's crazy. That's not real. I swear, like the one people. Okay, have you ever heard of the? Ooh, this is gonna be fun. We're gonna read some, but I don't want to. Like I have some fun stuff too. I got some fun stuff. There was a couple. 1 second.
Lily Pichu and Michael Reeves.
No, they specialized in hauntings. The husband and wife, Ed and Lorraine Warren. They were like famous because they investigated America's most famous hauntings, being like The Conjuring, The Haunting in Connecticut. They were essentially, they worked in their field for over 50 years, but only has started appearing in mainstream media in the 70s. Originally, Ed was a World War II veteran and the police officer. Over time, he became a self-taught demonologist. You can be anything if you put your mind to it, guys.
Demonologist.
I've been saying, yeah.
I bet they were freaky.
Really?
In the sheets.
I hate that.
I bet they were.
He started the New England Society for Psychic Research in 1952 with his wife, a clairvoyant and trance medium. The couple rose to fame after being called to help families get rid of evil presences in their home through exorcism.
I have a question. Mm-hmm. Say you were single.
Okay.
And you went on a date.
Okay.
And they said they were a medium. Is that enough to leave, or would you, like, give them a chance?
Well, I'm there. I might as well get a free session. I'd be like, what was my mom's name? Bozo?
What if they said it?
I'd be like, what was our dog that hit by a car's name?
Okay, if they gave you all the right answers, would you be more interested and more attracted, or would you never want to see them again?
I'd be like, what does my mom think about you?
If this happened to me and they told me all the right answers, I would be actually terrified because I would be so sure that they are like a stalker. Yeah. And that they found everything. But also...
Is there a question someone could answer that you're like, that's not stalker, that's just crazy, that you know that?
Sure, there's plenty.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't think that they were a clairvoyant or whatever.
You'd be like, you just get me, dude. We're just so meant to be.
I couldn't. Yeah, I don't think I could do it.
Okay.
Also, alternatively, I was thinking about this the other day. If a guy that you want to... This has nothing to do with anything we're talking about.
That's fine. Sorry. This is our podcast.
If a guy pulled up to a... Hold on.
Okay. Freaking out.
You go on a date. He picks you up. He takes you to a nice restaurant. It's a nice date. It's fondue, it goes well.
All you can eat.
It's fondue, all you can eat. He pays. Crazy. He's hot. You guys have great conversation. And then he drops you off at home and you see his truck take off and he's got balls hanging from his truck.
Yeah, the silver balls.
Even though the date was excellent, is that enough?
Dude, I'm going to tell you something that you're not going to like.
You would say, I like that.
No, I feel like Caleb would have those.
What?
I could see Caleb putting those on a truck and thinking they're funny.
What? That's so anti-Caleb. That's
really?
So weird. He would never do that.
I could see it.
That's so random.
Because you just painted this picture in my head, and the whole time you're saying you're going on a date, so I'm thinking of my on a date, and of course I only see Caleb, and I just saw him get in like a red truck in that drive away, and I was like, that's kind of funny.
He would not think that's funny. He's like shy.
Did I offend him?
Yeah, he's pissed.
Oh my god, I don't apologize.
For the record, I'm out. So Caleb would not do that.
For balls?
If Caleb did that now, I'd break up with him.
Dude, how are men supposed to date these days?
Yeah. It's so hard for men.
I think I'd have to learn if it was ironic or not. Because if it was ironic, I'm with him. I'm like, that's funny. Because like I used to wear Crocs ironically, and then I started wearing them perma, and normally Crocs would be enough. But I'm obviously in too deep. I'm dating the Croc King of LA.
I don't mind Crocs at all.
Oh.
I like them.
But you hate the balls.
Yeah.
Like even the pinup girl mud flaps. Like I think if my car had those, it'd be so funny.
I don't know what that is.
Like the mud flaps on the back of a car that have like the naked pinup girl silhouette.
Oh. I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah. But if someone didn't have them ironically, you'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's all about irony.
Hey everybody, this episode is brought to you by Squarespace. If you're not familiar with them, let me tell you how much they can help you. Whether you are starting a new venture or expanding an established business, Squarespace is a perfect tool to help you along the way. They're a comprehensive website platform designed to help entrepreneurs thrive online. They can help you make your website and they keep it really simple. I'm using them right now for Deco because I need a website, and let's be honest, I also need all the help I can get. They have a blueprint tool that helps map out your entire website just by answering a few questions. Also, they have great SEO tools that really help optimize
everybody to be able to find your website. If you haven't been able to check it out, do so now. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/wine for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So again, go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/wine for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks, guys.
All right. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
You're okay. We're talking about Lauren and Ed, Lorraine,
the sexual
Lauren.
deviants.
Yeah. So the Warrens testified in a court case which demonic possession was used as the defense. Isn't that interesting?
You cannot use that as a defense.
In 1980, 11-year-old David Glatzel of Brookfield, Connecticut, began experiencing possessive symptoms. So the family called the Warrens to exorcise him. The Warrens claimed that there were 43 demons within the young boy and performed 3 small exorcisms. The final exorcism, David's soon-to-be brother-in-law, Arne Johnson, called the demons, asking them to possess him instead. The demons moved from the young boy to Johnson, prompting him to become violent. The Warrens warned local police that the tragedy would soon strike, but the warnings were taken lightly. Months later, Johnson brutally murdered his landlord. The Warrens testified on behalf of Johnson in the case known as The Devil Made Me Do It. The judge sentenced Johnson to 20 years in prison, but he was released after 4 years for good behavior.
That's crazy.
Weird, huh? I'd never heard that story ever before.
Me neither.
And then, of course, the really famous one is the Amityville Horror. There've been, like, many movies on it. Mm-hmm. And there's, like, there's lots of stories about even when they filmed this movie that, like, really bad stuff happened on set.
Okay.
Like, here, let me find an example. I didn't expect this episode to go here, but I think it's fascinating, so we're doing it.
Bad things happened on set during filming. Paranormal things.
Yeah.
During a paranormal movie. Has anyone ever stopped to think maybe it's because everyone's on edge because they're filming a scary movie and they're scared? Because the movie's scary?
I think, like, someone, like, died or something.
That's tragic. We should be investigative journalists.
You think?
I think so. I think we do a good job, and I think we're really good about having accurate and credible information. And I think that that's important to the public.
I can't find it.
For example, if a demon comes in your room at night and offers you a handshake.
Stop it. She's going to tell you to shake its hand. Don't shake its hand, Chet. Okay, these are just a few examples. There was one in particular, I can't find it, that they had like 20 different examples of just like bad shit happening. But these are just scary movies that bad things have happened. Oh yeah, Emily Rose, lead star Jennifer Carpenter, said she was haunted by the ghosts that seemed to have a taste for music. After the movie. That wasn't it. I'm trying to find it. This is so annoying. There was like, dude, I don't know what it was, but like people died and like stuff kept happening and I don't know. I can't find it. Dang it. Someone's going to tell me in the comments. Whatever. Back to
it sounds like it's probably just really bad RNG.
Okay. So the Amityville Horror was essentially this house that was like super haunted, right?
Okay.
So Lorraine and Ed took on their most notable paranormal experience after George and Kathy.
So Lorraine and Ed are real.
Yes.
But Emily Rose is not.
No, sorry, that was a different thing.
But aren't Lorraine and Ed in Emily Rose?
No.
That's not the characters' names?
No.
Oh.
It's Emily.
I thought they were the two parents or whatever.
No.
Or the
No, Lorraine and Ed were like real ass people. Like this was a real court
know.
case. The Devil Made Me Do It that I just told you about.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But they've been in movies as guests.
Yeah.
Or as like people have acted as them.
Okay.
Okay, so they took on their most notable paranormal case after George and Kathy got a great deal on a colonial house in Amityville, Long Island. A year before, Ronnie DeFeo murdered his parents and 4 siblings in the house. The Lutzes, I think that's how you say their name, knew about the grisly murders but moved in anyway. They decided to have a priest bless the house just in case. During the clerk's visit, he claimed to have heard a masculine voice demanding that he get out. The family
started experiencing terrible paranormal activities that resembled the same events that had previously occurred in the home, prompting them to call the Warrens. When the Warrens were unable to rid the house of the spirits, the family moved out, leaving all of their items behind. The home was up for sale in 2010, and the previous owners claims they had no experiences of paranormal, so the question arises, were the Warrens successful in exorcising the demons? Were there any demons to begin with?
I, personally, think there were no demons to begin with.
Really?
Yes. I think they're just spooked out.
You think?
Yep.
Apparently they had a museum, the Warrens did, and they put artifacts that they collected from their paranormal endeavors on display in the occult museum, where visitors could see voodoo dolls and the Annabelle doll, like the real one, apparently. And Ed died in 2006. Lorraine still makes public appearances. She had a cameo in The Conjuring, which is kind of funny, which she reunited with one of the victims of the Amityville horror for a documentary, which is interesting. But the question is, are the Warrens actually ridding people of evil, or are they...
I think it's like a placebo, you know?
You think?
Like, oh, they came in, they saved me, so we're safe now. And then they feel safe, and when you feel safe, you're just less scared.
Yeah, you think like they had flashlights and no one else had flashlights type thing? Type beat?
What?
Like, you know, like when it's like essentially like when it's dark and if someone brings a flashlight. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Also, how do they end up? What I don't understand is like Annabelle the doll that was super haunted. How do you end up with it if it's like killing people? Like, how do you end up with it and just put it in a box?
As opposed to what? Like incinerating it?
Yeah.
If you incinerate it, it's going to open up a giant portal to the underworld and then we're all going to die. So you have to keep it contained in glass instead.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Is anyone related to them that could ask if it's real or not, and then just let us know in the comments?
We'll have them on the pod. I have a true story.
I don't think we'll have them on the pod. You have a true story
from a viewer.
A viewer? But all our viewers do is lie, and I know that about them.
All right, well, we're going to decide right here, right now, if this is a lie, but this is a story from one of you.
Okay, real or fake? Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Said, this is a tame but true story.
Did they include their name so we can give them a shout out or no?
I don't see a name.
Okay,
but
Frank.
Pause
thanks.
for a producer to tell us if there's a name. And it's the only ghost experience I've ever had. Living in Washington, getting from point A to point B often requires using rural roads. The roads are not well lit, heavily forested, and wind through forgotten parts of the history.
Dude, I will say these ones always kind of fuck me up.
Because Washington?
No. But like...
Spooky roads at night?
Yeah. Which in LA, it's just like... there's no empty roads here, so it doesn't matter. But back home, you know, there's a few empty fields that you drive through and you're like... Monkas.
I used one such road to get to work in the afternoon. It went sharply up a hill, winding through a forest, and flattening out into a still curvy road dotted with houses. At night, I only drove on it a couple of times, generally opted for other routes. As a child, I visited that road once for a baseball game. After the game, I heard kids talking about a nearby cemetery. Apparently, people who live there just up the street used to walk on the gravel shoulder of the road. Many of them had tragically died after being hit by cars.
Wow.
On the road, okay. The road had a lot of blind corners coming down the hill, so it was sadly believable. Kids said that at night, their spirits would continue walking down the road if they hadn't been hit.
Isn't it so interesting? Did you have one of those growing up? We had a few spots that were like the local haunts. So we're like, oh, you go down this hill and like you turn your car off and you yell for the blue lady and she comes rushing down the hill at you.
No, but I was told as a kid that if I misbehaved, the kappa would, which is like a giant turtle man, would come out and eat me.
By who told you that?
It's a Japanese folklore, I guess. So I don't know my family.
Okay, well, that seems like bad.
That's real.
Okay.
I was pretty skeptical back then, so I didn't think much of it and eventually forgot about it for years. One day, I was reminded of the history of that road. A coworker from my town also used that road, driving it both day and night. She said it was the fastest route and recommended I drive it. As we talked, I mentioned the cemetery, realized it was the same one I had learned about it as a child. I told her the rumor about the kids, and we both laughed about it. About how we'd never seen a ghost on that road, even when we were exhausted after work. Okay, so they were like, haha, I've never seen a ghost. Like, funny that they talk about that. That changed when I drove home that night. I decided to take her advice and drive down the road.
Thinking about
100% because you were thinking about it. Thinking it would be faster. I worked a 10-hour shift. I was exhausted. Wasn't in my sharpest of mind. Just take it right. You'll get home faster. At first, it was pleasant. Houses with warm orange light glowing from their windows. A lake peeking out from behind a row of homes and fields with sleeping animals. Oh, my God.
Okay, writer.
But when you get to the hill, it's steep. I'd forgotten how nerve-wracking it is to drive down, but I was already committed. There were winding roads, and the near-total darkness made it terrifying. I gripped the steering wheel and pumped the brakes, trying to follow the faint yellow median lines in my headlights. Wow. Right before the bottom of the hill, there are 2 sharp curves in quick succession.
Where I hit a child.
With a single light and a wider gravel shoulder, as I rounded the second to last curve, I saw an old man walking along the road. His hair, okay, this actually reminds me of something. His hair was long, frazzled, and gray, and he was wearing a plaid shirt with black and yellow squares. His jeans were too big, falling over his shorts. He was walking dangerously close to the road, and I was going fast due to the steepness, so I swerved into the other lane and nearly hit an oncoming car. After the scare, I pulled over in the gravel to calm myself down.
I would never do that.
When I looked back up the hill, this man was gone. To this day, I can't explain how or why I saw him. The only explanation is that the stories were true after all.
Or he's really fast.
And I never drove there again. Okay. I have a couple comments. First of all, it was probably just a dude. It was probably just a guy.
Yeah.
And you look back and you didn't see him anymore.
Guys, this is my thing. Call me kooky. Like, I don't know. Everyone, like, not everyone. I don't have one, so I don't know why I'm saying this. A bunch of people have dash cams, and everyone has an iPhone. I feel like we would have just, like, had a ghost on camera by now. Everyone's got one in their freaking pocket.
See them?
I don't know. Oh, I guess, yeah. You can't take a picture if they're not there.
I don't fully remember what happened, but in 2022, I was in Ireland and I was driving around and it was like evening, like dusk evening, and the roads were really narrow, like barely 2-car passable, and there were like really long grasses on both sides.
Okay.
And I was driving and we like we didn't run into a guy, but like there was a guy walking on the road who was really scary and he was like standing, like posted.
Ew.
Like as we drove by him. And
Yucky.
I screamed, not seriously, but like, cause I thought it was funny. Like we drove past him and we all saw him and I was just like, ah! What the f is that? And then we drove back because I was like, what is he doing? I need to know. Like that's messed up, which is why I would die first in a scary movie. I don't know why.
That's crazy that you drove back.
I was like, I want to see what he's doing. What's that guy doing?
Yeah.
And we drove back and he wasn't there anymore. But I don't know. He probably just like ducked into the bushes for some reason. A weird dude. I don't know why he was standing there. But it was one of those, because it was dark, it's like headlights and all of a sudden
what did everyone think?
It was just funny because I was freaking out. Like I just couldn't stop screaming. So they all thought it was funny.
They didn't think he was a ghost?
I don't think so. I don't think we ever like explicitly said that. They were just like, wow, that was super weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay, so that one you just think...
It was just a guy.
Okay, it was just a guy. How did he get across the street? He's old and slow.
I think he ducked into the bushes also.
Okay, you think there's a bunch of bush duckers out there?
Yeah. That sounds like a euphemism. There's another one that we have from...
I got it.
Oh.
I'll do this one.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared. It's got a different vibe to it, I think.
We'll see what happens. This one says...
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by ZocDoc. You know, there are some things in life that are totally fine to leave up to chance, like trying a new type of milk in your coffee. Maybe oat milk is your new favorite, and maybe it's not. Or how about a cheap impulse buy from an Instagram ad? Sure, it might be a hit or miss, and hey, who hasn't rolled the dice on a new workout class, thinking it might be fun, but then realizing it's definitely not for you? One thing that shouldn't be left up to chance is finding a good doctor, though. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search for and compare high-quality, in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and instantly book an appointment with just a click. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care, skin care, much more. ZocDoc happens fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments. Go to ZocDoc.com/wine. That's ZocDoc.com/wine to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. ZocDoc.com/wine. Thank you, ZocDoc.
I don't know how dark you wanted this, but here we go. Trigger warning: abortion. So if abortion triggers you, here we go. Okay, we'll just read it. And she got haunted by something, I guess. Okay. When I was in elementary school, I went to stay the night at a friend's house for the first time. It was also the first time I met her mother. When I arrived, my friend introduced me to her mom.
then took me to her bedroom and said she needed to tell me something. Okay. She told me that her mom had been pregnant a few times and had killed the babies in her belly. We were in 3rd grade and had no idea that abortion existed or that anything like that was possible. My friend said when it gets dark, if we leave the lights off, we can see babies hanging around.
Ew.
Okay. When it got dark outside, we turned off all the lights and wandered around her house. After a while of nothing happening, she suggested we split up. She would take one side of the house and I'd take the other. She said to call out if any of us saw anything. After just a few minutes of being split up, I peered around the corner of the bedroom and saw a blue, shadowy, toddler-sized figure. I immediately ran and yelled, thinking she had somehow set it up, but she came from the opposite direction of the house. When I went to show her, the figure was gone. Looking back now, I understand the power of suggestion. Yeah, there we go. And I was rubbing my eyes a little too hard could affect the same thing, but little me was terrified to ever go back to her house because I thought her mother was killing babies and that their spirits were haunting the house. I never told my mom or anyone about it, though, because I was afraid of sounding crazy and just in case my mom would tell me not to hang out with that friend anymore. LOL. Yeah. I mean, you debunked your own thing.
Oh,
she was like,
I mean, in fairness, it is kind of bizarre for a child to make that up or like say that, you know?
No. Okay. Not with power of suggestion. Like if the child was like,
well, you think her mom was like, I've had these abortions, this is what that means, and the babies are haunting this house. And then the child was like, oh, I see them. I don't think
the mom said the babies are haunting the house. I bet the mom could have even had a miscarriage and was like, I had a baby, but it's gone now. And you say that to
they're still here with us.
Yeah, something like that.
But why like spooky and at night? Why not like a...
Because that's when you can, convince yourself you're seeing shit.
Did you have imaginary friends?
No.
I had one.
What was it?
Just a duckling.
Really?
It didn't even talk.
I remember I wanted an imaginary friend so bad.
It wasn't even cool. And it was only when I took a bath. And I don't even know if that's a friend. I would just imagine a baby duckling, like a realistic, just a real duckling. Didn't talk.
In the bath with you?
Totally, yeah, okay. Just a duck.
For sure.
And I called him Bumblebee.
Yeah, no, I remember, like, hearing about imaginary friends, and so I'd, like, pretend I had one, but I didn't. I would, like, try to, like, pretend talking to myself.
It didn't work.
No. I just wanted to say I had one, I guess.
That's why we need to play Bloody Mary.
No, I don't want that friend.
She could be here. Or we could say Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice isn't scary. He's quirky.
That's better. That's better as an imaginary friend.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
We used to play this game called Don't Look Down the Hall. And it was like, there was this friend's house we would stay at. They had like 8 kids because they were Mormon. Okay. So all of us would like, all the neighborhood kids like hung out there. Like that was the fun hangout house. And we'd all go in their basement. We'd make like this pillow wall to like hide behind. And essentially we'd all be in the basement and they had this really long hallway that of course had a mirror at the end of it. And we'd play this, turn off all the lights. It was called Don't Look Down the Hall. You stare at the hall and when you're scared, you essentially lose and you run upstairs because you're so scared. And the last one to stay wins, but you're also the fucking loser because the second that someone starts running, you all start running. But whoever can like stay down there the longest is the winner because you just imagine things, just staring down that dark hall with a bunch of kids all afraid of stuff. Like like even now, I'm sure I would imagine stuff.
When I was a kid, me and my friend wanted to make her bed sheets glow in the dark, so we broke glow sticks all over them.
That's so bad. Isn't it like really chemicals?
Bad. Yeah, and there was like glass and stuff in the glow sticks and all the liquid, and we broke it. We like splattered it all over her bed sheets, and they did glow in the dark. And then we slept in it. And then we told her mom the next day, and her mom freaked out. Yeah.
Well, you turned out fine.
Wouldn't recommend doing that. It's not safe.
Okay, we have another one.
Another one. Here we go. Okay. I was 16. It was 2 a.m. at the end of a long cram session for exam season. Admittedly, it was pretty stupid of me to go walking so late at night, but there was a 7-Eleven just around the corner, and I was hungry. I left my home, and after about 2 minutes, I heard someone's rapid and heavy footsteps behind me.
Oh, I would hate that.
Thinking it was just some night owl fitness person, I stepped aside. Imagine just stepping aside.
Yeah, not looking behind you.
That's so funny. It was only afterward that I realized the footsteps had slowed down as the person approached me. Fearing the worst, I began clutching my keys as an improvised weapon. The man slowed down enough to match my walking pace, and I became extremely uncomfortable, ready for any sudden movements. He started asking me very personal questions.
Oh, so it was a person.
I guess, where I went to high school, what I did in school, where I was going, and what my name was. He wore a small baseball hat, baggy clothing, and his speech was slightly slurred.
Oh.
I gave him fake information because there's no way I was giving him real details.
Genius.
And tried to pick up the pace to avoid him. He kept asking questions until we passed by a nightclub / bar where he suddenly tried to grab my arm while hurriedly and frantically invited me to go in with him. I declined and kept dodging his advances. Eventually, he crossed the street to enter the club alone, but not before saying, "I'll see you soon." The malice and determination in his voice sent chills down my spine. I would go in the club.
Why?
And
so then you're
tell,
around people.
A bouncer or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
she
there were
wasn't
bouncers.
old enough.
Oh, she was 16, but still you could tell a bouncer.
Yeah, I guess.
There were bouncers outside the club who let him in without much conversation, but they both looked at me briefly before focusing back on the man. I awkwardly speed-walked up towards the 7-Eleven, trying not to panic or cause a scene I couldn't escape from. When I arrived at the store, I told the cashier, what had happened, and asked if he could keep an eye out while I shopped. He seemed annoyed, but agreed.
Ew, I hate when people do that.
What an asshole.
I remember one time I was like abandoned because my phone died and my car died, and I asked someone if I could use their cell phone, and they were like, I was like 16, and they were like, no. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, some people are scared you're gonna steal it.
I know, but like,
right.
I don't look fast. I'm not gonna run away.
I looked out the store windows. I saw one of the bouncers approaching. My heart dropped. I thought I was about to get trafficked. I slipped around the aisles and managed to sneak out of the store while the bouncer spoke to the cashier, then ran all the way home. As I unlocked my door, I heard the most blood-curdling, horrific scream of anguish. It sounded like the man's voice. The next morning, as I got ready for school, I noticed an ambulance of police tape and patrol cars around the corner of the nightclub. I don't know what truly happened, but I shudder to think that would have happened if it would have happened to me if I made a single wrong move. It's been about 6 years, and that building is still empty and abandoned. I'm so confused.
They're saying someone got murdered.
The guy got murdered?
No, like he murdered somebody or something.
It sounded like the man's voice.
I don't know why the scream sounded like the man's voice. That doesn't make even a ton of sense.
Also, I don't think this is even paranormal.
Yeah, but it's still a scary story.
It is a scary story.
I think like because like some of the scariest stories are like people almost
Real
getting
stories.
picked up by like Ted Bundy or like John Wayne Gacy took him to dinner, but then for some reason he didn't take him home. Like,
who's that?
He's the clown killer. He was like he would kill young boys and was dressed as a clown.
Wasn't it so recently that clown killers were a thing? Mm-mm. Is that not real?
No, that was like it was weird. It was like I believe it got chalked up to It promoing that new
No
It,
shot.
but there were just random clowns appearing places like on the corner of streets and stuff, but they weren't murdering.
I thought that they were.
No, they were just showing up for some reason. I think it was like 20. It was
like in
like
the 2020.
I want to say like
2020.
2018 or something.
Oh really?
There were random clowns showing up. Yeah, let me see actually.
I'm trying to look it up too, but I can't tell. Oh my god, it just took me to
What
Facebook. Fake information.
Year
Here
did
we go.
random clowns show up on corners? It was 2016. I was so close. The incidents were reported in the United States, Canada, and Australia, and the United Kingdom, and subsequently in other countries and territories starting August 2016. The sightings were first reported in Green Bay, Wisconsin, in what turned out to be a marketing stunt for the horror film. Yeah.
That's so smart.
Yeah, it was because they just like people just started. The clowns just started appearing on like
That's so smart.
like corner of a street and just standing there with like a balloon.
And were the police in on it? I guess they can't really do anything.
Yeah, because
They
you
tell them
show
to
up and
leave.
you're dressed as a clown. Like what?
Wow.
But John Wayne Gacy was the original killer clown. So he was through the 40s and the 90s. Well, he was born in the 40s, but he died in 94. But he killed like 33 people.
Oh my god.
And essentially he would like he worked as like a clown, and he would like lure victims to his house, and like he'd also like kind of I believe he would like perform for them as a clown at his house, and then he would murder them.
How did he meet them?
That's a great
If I went on a date with a guy and he put on clown stuff and started performing, I'm out.
Well, yeah. For sure.
I'm out quick. This is mean. Even if they didn't pull out a clown... No, that's mean. Never mind.
What?
I was going to say, even if it was like... Even if they didn't put on clown stuff and started being weird, even if it was like their passion and they were like going to clown school and it was like their profession and they wanted to be a clown.
Yeah.
I still don't think I could do it, and that feels mean.
I think, hear me out, I think most people that become a clown now, it's like a backup plan.
Really? Clown school's real, though.
Is it? I know, but like, I think those clowns are in circuses. But like, I think sometimes, like, you can get paid like $100 an hour to go be a clown at a birthday party.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really good rate.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
I see.
And you can buy a costume for $30 and learn how to do animal balloons, you know?
Right.
You put yourself on Craigslist, like, you can get some gigs.
That makes sense. That's fair. I don't know why people started being scared of clowns in the first place. I don't think that clowns are scary. But you can make them look scary. But like normal clowns, I think are cute.
Yeah, I actually I don't know enough. I don't really like serial killer like lore. Like, I know I just went on a rant about freaking the Menendez brothers last week. Yeah. But like, I really don't usually follow stuff. But it looks like, yeah, he had he was a clown in a clown club and would perform entertaining hospitalized children.
That's awful.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how he found his victims, but I think they were mostly young boys, but it's so weird.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I thought they were romantic
interests. He murdered, they were like 33 young men and boys. 26 were buried in his crawl space of his house.
What?
Yeah. His victims included people he knew and random individuals lured from the bus station. That's what it was. Or off the streets. He promised them a job or money or, offered them a drink. Some were grabbed by force. Others were conned. So he would often dress as a sheriff too. And he'd lure the victims and then he would he would kill them.
That's horrific.
Yeah. He would show them a magic trick as a part of his clown routine and cuffed his own hands behind his back, but then released them with a hidden key, So then he'd have them, he'd be like, oh, I can show you how to do it. And then they'd put their cuffs behind, but then they couldn't release it. Yeah, so a little crazy, but he was evil.
Yeah, that's awful.
He was evil.
Okay, well, that was dark.
Yeah, murder stories are different than ghost stories because murder stories are there's
real?
No there's no being nah, that didn't happen. It's right.
Oh. Yeah, that's a lot.
Those are very scary. But I do think the ones that avoid ones I'm from Washington, so everybody has a freaking grandma or something that almost got picked up by Ted Bundy. I swear to God, everyone has a story of my grandma was at college and she was brown hair and he liked girls with brown hair and she was walking outside and this guy in a yellow bug came up and but especially being Mormon, it would always end with but the still small voice, which is the Holy Ghost, the still small voice would tell them not to get in the car.
Oh.
And so it's
saved.
Thanks, Jesus.
Yay, Jesus. Yeah. You want to read the next one?
Oh, yeah.
Another spooky story.
One of our viewers submitted this story. So for the first 18 years of my life, we lived in this rundown trailer park in Utah.
Okay.
My dad got this place for just $100. What? How?
Rundown.
Coupon. Okay. It was home, but honestly, it was a little rough around the edges. My dad had to install metal beams across the ceiling to keep it from collapsing. We used ice cream buckets to catch water leaking from the roof. The floor creaked like crazy. The creaks were so loud that we memorized each other's footsteps. My mom had a little bounce at the end. My dad's were heavy thuds. One of my sister's footsteps dragged, and the others were thumped lightly. Mine were little pitter-patters. My sister shared a room next to the bathroom. My mom and another sister at the end of the hall, and I slept in the living room with my dad. It wasn't ideal, but the living room was the only place that didn't feel creepy. Then there was my mom's rooms. I can't really explain it, but it just gave off bad vibes. It was the furthest from the door with 2 mirrors facing the bed and a porcelain dolls lining the shelves. Number one, you're not supposed to have mirrors facing your bed.
Why?
It's bad feng shui because mirrors are like portals.
What?
That's what they say.
Portals to what?
Mirrors are just portals.
Okay.
Let me see. Mirrors.
I like this new segment of Wine About It where we just live Google
bed.
and then provide misinformation live.
What's the big thing with mirrors facing your bed? Reddit. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Someone will tell us in the comments. Okay, anyway. They totally freaked me out, but my mom loved them. As a kid, I hated being alone in that room. When I turned 16, my sisters moved out. I got to take over their smaller room. It was awesome to finally have my own space, but that's when I started hearing strange things. Some nights, I'd hear footsteps creeping down the hallway. That always started near the door by the living room and slowly made their way towards my mom's room. I couldn't recognize the sound. It wasn't like anyone in my family. The footsteps always stopped right at her doorway, and I was too scared to look. Yeah, I don't know if I would. If you heard footsteps, would you open your door and look?
Hell no.
Yeah.
But I would, like, do something about it.
But if it was every night, and during the day, you look around the house and there's nothing. And you've had a guy come out and he made sure there's no raccoons in the ceiling. You set up a camera and you see nothing. You just slowly get used to it.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would just convince myself that it was something else. Or I would rig a trip line and a shotgun.
Oh my God. That's crazy. Okay. One night I really had to pee and I was on my period, so I didn't want to stay in the bed. I took 2 steps in the hallway and then I passed out. When I came to, everything felt normal, so I rushed to the bathroom. Maybe it was paranormal or maybe anemia. Who knows? I also had a few episodes of sleep paralysis in that room. My demon was this long, skinny-limbed, pitch black creature type thing. That's funny. It sounds like my cousins that I talked about. Eventually, I begged my dad to put a door on my room, and once he did, I felt a lot better. Years later, after we moved away, my sister and I were talking about our childhood and laughed about how we could recognize each other's footsteps. Then she got serious and said, "You know, sometimes at night I heard other footsteps." I felt chills run down my spine, and she told me she had mentioned it to her dad before. He passed and it freaked him out, but he didn't say anything. He wasn't superstitious type, so it confused me. Eventually, our landlord kicked us out and bulldozed the trailer. I always wondered if whatever was in there real or just a figment of childhood imaginations. I don't believe in ghosts, but something was bad vibes still. Low key, do you ever get really bad vibes when you walk into a place for no good reason other than just vibes?
Yeah. All the time.
Yeah. How do you explain those though?
That's an interesting question because I believe in like women's intuition, but I don't believe in anything paranormal. But that's not a physical thing. That's not like a real thing. But I totally like I'll walk into a room and be like, yeah, I don't feel safe here, and then I will leave.
If it's an empty house, you told me one time at my house you saw something creepy. At one of my houses, you and Taylor were both upstairs, and you both thought you saw something like move in the mirror or something.
What was that? I don't remember.
I don't know. This is your story, milady.
No, I know, but I don't remember it.
But it was you and Taylor separately. Were both like, I don't like going in that room alone. I thought I saw something move.
I have to call Taylor.
I can see.
I feel like. Yeah, we thought we saw you or we heard you and you weren't.
Oh yeah,
there.
you were like, were you upstairs? And I was like, no.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Here,
Maybe this is my problem.
We'll see. I don't think she'll answer because she's in New York.
Maybe I wiped them from my memory because I'm too scared.
Start spreading the news. She's in New York, everybody.
But I don't think there are like ghosts in there. I just mean the.
Yeah, but
vibes were
remember,
weird.
that's the same place that I had to call 911 that one time.
Your call has been.
Okay, she hates me. Well,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
And that was unexplainable.
Yeah. That one is weird. I still don't know what to make of that.
Me neither. I told that story on an old Wine About It episode. Maybe if you ask about it, someone will tell you in the comments. But essentially, I had a weird like pseudo break-in, but it was like nothing. But like Nothing added up. It was super weird. Still no explanation.
Yeah, we spent a long time trying to figure that one out too.
Yeah, I called like multiple.
We still don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Strange. I don't remember. I think it's like I don't know if it was mirror related or I think all it was like I was sure that you were upstairs or that like you walked past something and I saw you or like something and you just weren't.
Spooky.
Or you were asleep or something.
Yeah, you would tell me that, and I'm like living in the house, and then Taylor had the same thing happen, and I was like, well, I freaking live here, so what am I supposed to do? But I never had scary vibes. But I also feel like the older I've gotten, the less I get like...
Scared?
Uh-huh. Of that.
Whoa.
Whoa.
We have another one that's really long.
We've got a long one.
This is going to be the last one, I think. Ready?
I do like hearing ghost stories, though, especially when it's like... I don't know, just like one time a year to like share your experiences of times where you got the heebie-jeebies, you know?
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. This is my friend's story. She gave me permission to share, and it's pretty long. For the sake of privacy, I'll call her Anne, and her boyfriend is Harvey.
Okay, Anne and Harvey. Slay.
The story took place after Anne and Harvey graduated high school. She went to his graduation reception, which was held at a location called Area 7.
Huh?
A spot known locally for supernatural occurrences, particularly involving skinwalkers or witchcraft. Anne was hesitant to go.
Where is this?
Because of, I don't know, because of the location, and her parents wanted her home by 9. Despite her concerns, she went to support Harvey. They took two cars to the event, one for Harvey's family and another for his friends, including Anne.
Wait, this is a military base?
I don't know. It just says the location was called Area 7.
Weird.
The gathering was near a creek in a wooded area, and everyone started setting up chairs, food, and drinks. Harvey's friends built a big bonfire while Anne supervised the kids playing by the creek. As Anne sat by herself, she heard someone quietly say, "Hey," from behind some tall bushes.
Dude, that's a thing about freaking...
That's what skinwalkers do.
Stop it. Don't say it.
It's the second time I've said it.
But they mimic. They're mimics.
Do you believe in them?
I don't know, but the stories are so convincing. I do when I'm freaking out in the middle of the Utah desert camping with my friends, and all of the staff was like, don't even say the word. They're like, they were like dead. I have never had someone talk to me so serious about a paranormal thing. They're like, honestly, we'll tell you some stories, but don't play with it. Like, they were like, but I can't even mimic how serious they were. They were like, don't say the word. Like, we would really appreciate if you, like, seriously. Like, they were like, I'm not kidding. It was so
they
weird.
Had people, like, die?
They've just had them show up, apparently. Like, they told us multiple stories.
No, I mean, like, what do they do? Kill people?
I don't know. I don't know what they do. But they're creepy. Okay.
She heard someone quietly say "hey" from behind some tall bushes. Thinking it was Harvey or one of his friends playing a prank, she decided to sneak up on them.
Ooh.
I would not make that decision personally.
No. She's brave, bitch.
She's brave. But instead of finding someone she knew, she discovered a homeless man hiding and watching her and the kids.
Oh.
She screamed and called for help, causing the group to chase the man away.
Oh, that is not what I thought it was going to be.
Me neither. Later, as the evening wore on, everyone started drinking, having a good time. Anne remained sober to watch the kids. Oh my God, so responsible.
So responsible.
But as it got close to 9 p.m., she kept reminding Harvey she needed to leave. He ignored her and kept drinking.
Harvey, L boyfriend.
Suddenly, one of Harvey's friends, Andrew, began freaking out because he couldn't find his phone. The phone was the last connection he had to his parents, who had tragically died in a house fire.
Oh.
What?
Dude, I remember when my phone, the last phone I had before my mom died, it fell and it cracked into a bunch of pieces and I couldn't use it, and I was really sad because I could never see her text again.
That is really sad.
It was really sad.
Despite everyone's efforts to search, they couldn't find it. Frustrated and drunk, Andrew stormed off into the woods, refusing to listen to anyone.
That's weird.
After about 30 minutes, Andrew had not returned, and Anne was getting anxious. The group decided to drive around to search for him. As they slowly drove along the roads, shining flashlights into the woods, Anne spotted something horrifying. She saw a tall, pale, skinny figure staring back at her. It was partially naked, wearing only a piece of cloth around its waist. She froze, and Brent, who was in the passenger seat, yelled at the figure to leave, startling it enough to run off into the woods.
What?
Brent, who is an apprentice medicine man...
What's a medicine man?
I don't actually know I have an idea in my head, but I don't want to be wrong.
We've had to Google a lot today.
We really have.
Are we stupid? Be honest.
Yes. someone, especially among some North American Indian peoples, a person believed to have magical powers of healing, a shaman.
Oh, okay.
Brent, who is an
I thought it was a
medicine
really
man,
romanticized doctor. I was like,
no.
what a beautiful... Okay.
urged Harvey to drive down the dirt road. Reluctantly, Harvey turned onto the path, which led deeper into the woods. That's a good idea. With trees growing thicker.
It feels like they kept making all the wrong choices.
It's a good idea. I think I like their decisions. Suddenly, they heard a man screaming, causing everyone except for Anne and the kids to jump out of the car. Anne stayed behind, locking the doors, trying to calm the kids down. Gunshots rang out, and soon after, everyone came running back to the car, including Andrew, who was visibly shaken. No one spoke until they were back on the main road. Then Andrew began screaming and crying, saying that the figure had told him he was going to die. After they finally calmed him down, they made it back to Harvey's house, where Andrew explained his side of the story. Here's Andrew's POV.
Okay, do you want me to read Andrew's?
Sure.
Andrew. I was going to do a boy voice. I can't.
No, do it.
After
Don't do it.
After storming off,
No, I don't like
Andrew heard footsteps.
Why does he sound dumb?
It's the only voice I've got. I sound like a dumb voice critical.
Yeah, you do.
Each time he stopped walking. Okay, each time he stopped walking, the footsteps. Okay, each time he stopped walking.
After storming into the woods.
Wait, I'm confused. Wait, they found Andrew. Yeah. Oh,
yes.
Sorry, I got names mixed up.
He got back in the car and he screamed, and he was like, "The guy told me I was gonna die."
Well, why'd you go off in the woods, Andrew? Also, why are you talking to this guy? Also, this guy speaks English.
Don't victim blame.
Okay, you're so right for that. After storming off, Andrew heard footsteps behind him. Each time he stopped walking, the footsteps would stop, but with a delay. When he finally turned around, he saw the same tall, pale figure Anne had. The figure...
What do you mean finally turned around? Why aren't you turning around after the first sound of footsteps?
Also, Anne, why didn't you bust out your phone, Tatiana?
True.
Take a picture of this thing.
Right.
I don't get it. No one has freaking phones? I mean, Andrew didn't, but still. The figure mimicked his movements, taking footsteps towards him whenever Andrew moved. In a panic, Andrew threw a rock at the figure, but it passed right through it. Terrified, Andrew ran and hid in the woods, holding his breath. That's impressive to do when running. That's when the figure started speaking, claiming to be one who killed his grandparents and his parents before threatening "You're next." Andrew jumped into the creek, trying to escape. The figure followed him, but soon stopped after he heard Harvey's car approaching. He ran towards it, screaming for help. Brent fired at the figure with bullets coated in ash, causing it to flee. How did Brent just happen to have bullets coated in ash? Anne says this is the craziest thing that has ever happened to her, and she's glad everyone was safe. However, Andrew mysteriously disappeared soon after, and no one has been in contact with him since. There's no trace of him anywhere.
I think Andrew has lied for attention. I think he's depressed and a little unstable, and I think he disappeared.
I feel like you should be able to find out if he's dead, no?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Have you tried Googling his name?
I guess I would think that Andrew was just like a liar, pants on fire. However, they did supposedly like see it before.
Yeah, multiple people saw it.
And what's it?
Well, multiple people, because Brent shot at it. Conveniently, he had the ash-covered bullets.
What's your move if you see a tall, pale, naked figure in the woods that's telling you you're gonna die? You throw a rock at it?
I go to a psych ward.
Me personally,
If it was both of us, if we both saw it, I wouldn't go to a psych ward.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
So I guess that's the difference, is if everyone saw this, I would be like, I don't know what I would do. I'd be scared.
I lay down like it's a brown bear and just hope he leaves me alone, thinks I'm dead.
Really?
No, if I had a way to kill myself, I would. Also.
What? You can't immediately kill yourself.
I'm not really a fighter.
Just because you ran into the big guy. The big guy comes out, you shoot yourself?
Maybe. I mean, maybe I'll try to shoot him first. Yeah, I'd shoot him first. But if it went through him...
Why? Just get back in the car and leave. Why?
I'm not next to the car. I'm in the woods by myself.
Oh. I'm in the woods by myself. Number one...
Maybe I climb a tree. Maybe you can't climb trees.
Number one, don't be in the woods by yourself.
Yeah. Unless you're, like, hiking. And
that's a scary story, though.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Yeah, that one's
That's
good.
the best one we've heard.
Scary.
You know what would have been a good idea?
What?
Now that we're done with this episode?
What?
Is calling our friends and asking them for theirs.
They're scary stories?
Yeah.
Yeah, but some people might just be like, I don't have one, and then we wasted all that time calling them.
But I think it's still interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She likes our friends.
Ooh, what are they going to say?
Okay, watch this. Bet. Audible for the Patreon. Watch. Definitely.
I think we could do a whole episode out of this.
Your call has been forwarded to the...
Stupid idea.
I don't think this is a good idea. I'm really glad that we didn't do that.
So happy we didn't do that.
Thank you guys for watching this episode. We hope that you enjoyed it. We hope that you have a good spooky season. And we hope that you liked that this episode was in person. Wahoo.
See you next week for Halloween.
Like and subscribe now. Or that guy is coming for you.
Oh, now I'm going to have to go like and subscribe.
Yay! Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I broke up with him. I journaled, wrote this thing, left it open that night. I fell asleep like after crying, right? So went to bed, woke up in the middle of the night with the weirdest feeling of someone watching me.
Ew.
Sure enough, the next day I get a text from him and he's like, hey, I astral projected to your room and I read the thing and he gave me an excerpt from he told me exactly what I wrote.
He did not astral project into your room and read your journal and then send you a quote from your journal.
I don't know. I
into your
can't explain
house.
it. He didn't break into my house.